Alun, a 24-9 win here at Castle Park. Someone who's been in the Championship for a few years, you'll know how difficult it is to win up here, so that's a great result, isn't it?
It's a massive result for us. We spoke about all week how our defence was going to be key today. Big bunch of boys, hard runners. I thought the defence really fronted up today, just to keep that score at a minimum. And also for them, they're a team that hasn't lost at home this year, so to inflict the first defeat of them, that's perfect for us.
Very hard fought. You did about 70 odd minutes or so. Just tell us how difficult it was out there.
It was difficult. It was one of those games. Ball's a little bit greasy.
Yeah.
I think we made life hard for ourselves on those errors. Discipline was a little bit off today, but on the flip side, when we didn't have the ball, I thought the boys were outstanding. The work rate was huge. The tackles were immense, and we just kept getting up off the floor and hitting them. Yeah,
I think there were over 20 penalties in the game. It was very difficult to get any momentum, wasn't it? But do we just really have to back ourselves kind of physically to get that kind of win the arm wrestle, if you like?
I think that's one thing that is key about the Champ is you turn up every week physically. Yeah. You have a chance to win, but the physicality today was outstanding. I think the work rate again, like I mentioned again, was outstanding. So yeah, to be able to back that up this week after a good performance at Leeds last week, that's good for us.
Yeah, really tough first half as well, wasn't it? Behind for large parts of it, but that try right on half time was crucial, wasn't it?
I think that's the thing. We always back ourselves to perform, to make sure we come away with wins, and I think today proves that. Yeah. For 35 minutes that first half, we made life hard for ourselves with silly errors, ill discipline. Like I said, if we can get into the right areas at the right times, we can punish teams, and I think that's what we did today. But again, it's one of those things that we'll come back, we'll reflect on whether we left points out there or not. But to come away before a week off, before we go back into the Cup's perfect to walk away with a win.
In terms of game management, the second half was nigh on perfect, really, wasn't it? In terms of we played pretty much in their half the entire 40 minutes.
Yeah, I think that's key. We've got good 9s, good 10s, and good leaders throughout the squad. So just those small chats and small comms on the pitch were ideal. I don't really remember being in our own half that second half, so that's perfect for our front row forward, just getting up, making your tackles and making sure your set piece is strong.
6-2 split on the bench this week. The forwards that came on, particularly whilst you were on as well, kind of early in the second half, they made a real difference, didn't they?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's been key the last 2 weeks. I think the boys that have come on off the bench have made a huge difference for us. And again, to have that many forwards coming off the bench for us is lovely, especially for people like me. Get your time in, work hard, and get off the pitch. And again, I don't think when these boys are coming onto the pitch, I don't think we're losing much. So that's perfect for us.
You touched on it earlier, kind of backing ourselves. We're only 1 point up, a lot of penalties, but we kept going to the corner rather than taking the points. Does that just kind of show the trust that you have in each other that you're going to get there eventually?
Yeah, it's one of those things that we leave the leaders on the pitch to do. Boys like Rain, boys like Craig, scrum halves. DJ and stuff, obviously at fullback, and Belly when he comes on. It's their decisions. We back ourselves 100% as well. So if they're making those decisions, we're going to make sure they turn into right ones.
These are massive wins, aren't they? When you're probably not at your best, but as I say, looking back at it at the end of the season, this could be a really crucial one, couldn't it?
I think that's the thing. As long as you're winning consistently, as long as you're winning away on the road, Doncaster's not a hard place. Isn't an easy place to come and win either. And I think that's the thing. Is 2 or 3 years ago they turned us over by 50 points. So we knew what we were coming up here for. And like I said, we've won our game. We get away home back on the bus and enjoy ourselves.
Yeah, 2 away wins in the last 2 weeks as well. Just really kind of starting to hit some form, aren't we?
Yeah, it's unfortunate we're going into this break.
Yeah.
Because again, I think we are finding something now. But again, the boys have earned this break, and to back up two away victories is key for us.
Yeah, obviously in a very good place heading into this break, but with kind of things to work on as well. Would you say we're in a pretty good spot at the moment going forward?
Definitely, it's one of those things that our philosophy is we train how we play.
Yeah.
And I think over the last 2 weeks we've been really hitting our strides in training. And again, I think it's turning out well on the pitch. It's tough today with the greasy conditions and stuff, but again, 4 points away from homes is good for me.
Yeah, nice break for you guys now, and then back to the Cup. We'll be looking to finish the job there, and hopefully with the top seeding as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a good thing about having such a large squad and such a good depth in play as well. So you see boys like Ollie Robinson came on for his debut last week and scored, which is great to see. And again, you got boys like Jake and Drum that played last week, got a pen try and stuff. So we have the depth, which is nice. We can rotate squads and stuff when we have to. So yeah, 100% we'll be going back after this week off, and we're really going for it.
Well done, mate. Glen, a 24-9 win here at Castle Park. It wasn't overly pretty, but that's a massive win for us, isn't it?
Yeah, it certainly wasn't pretty in any way, shape or form, but very, very pleasing to get the result. I think, at half time we were 10, I think it was 10-9, so obviously very close, and we we said to ourselves, listen boys, we've got to come out here and express ourselves a little bit more. I think like we went in at half time and we were sort of looking around the changing room and no one's really breathing hard, and everyone's sort of saying, oh, we're not really taking ourselves to the max. So I think second half came out and responded really well. It's never an easy place to come and play. They showed a lot of grit. Really tested us in the breakdown, really physical, and made it a bit of a mess at times. So fair play to the boys. Showed a lot of resilience to get that result.
What do you think changed in the second half? Because we controlled the game from the. We controlled the second half from the start, literally all the way through, didn't we? And in the first half, potentially struggled to kind of break them down a little bit.
Yeah, well, I think firstly in the first half we gave too many penalties away. So we spoke at half time and said, we're feeling okay defensively. We're going through the phases. But we spoke all week about making sure our discipline was on point, and we gave 3 offside penalties away and 1 outside entry, and you just then feed in their attack. And I think we went for a period in the first half of about 10 minutes of not having the ball, because either when we did turn it over, we had a handling error or gave a penalty away. So I think that was one key point. And then in the second half, I thought the bench had a real impact on the game, as they did last week as well. They've been terrific, and I thought we sort of played a little bit less rugby in the second half, played a little bit higher up the field, I think. And pressured them, and we got our rewards. A couple of great charge down or wheel pieces of high pressure at the exit ruck for them, where they're 9 slices into touch, and then all of a sudden we've got a 20-metre gain, and we're in the attack zone again.
We mentioned kind of breaking them down. You've obviously been a player. I think there were 20 to 30 penalties. It was just we couldn't get any kind of momentum. How difficult is it when it's like that to just kind of be able to break them down and just eventually get over? Because we really had to kind of back ourselves in just time after time in that second half, didn't we?
Yeah, I think it's obviously quite mentally challenging when you're in that position. I spoke to a few boys after the game there, and the scrum was obviously a mess at times in terms of we didn't know what we were getting penalised for, and I'm sure the opposition probably felt similar way at times, and then no one can get any real flow. The game becomes very stop-start, and you start to get a little bit frustrated then as a player, and I think that's where you've got to keep your composure, and I thought we did that really well, which is probably a testament to the leadership within the group as well, to sort of not lose control, because then you can start sort of compounding errors for giving other penalties away for stupid things in general play, and we didn't. So to show that composure, and then obviously we got the rewards from it.
Yeah, you mentioned it already, but we really kind of showed the depth in the squad today, didn't we? They were excellent in the second half.
Yeah, no, really good, and we've gone 6-2 split on the bench for the last couple of weeks, and I think that's worked well for us from a tactical point of view. Then from a forward perspective, you've got only 2 forwards in that pack have really got to do 80 minutes potentially, and you can own empty yourself. And we sort of said, listen boys, the game has moved on. The game's a 23-man game. Well, it's more than that. Obviously we've got a 46-man squad, and we've used quite a lot of them over the first sort of 7 weeks of the season, and I think the boys that have come in, they've had their opportunities, they've grabbed them, and there's real competition for places, which keeps people on the edge, and and also allows you to know that you can, when you've got that strength of depth, you can rotate players as well, and keep the energy and the high intensity where it needs to be.
Yeah, how important is it when, quite frankly, we're not at our best, but we still managed to come away with a really important win against a very good side as well? Yeah,
no, massively. I mean, after that first game, we've sort of come to the end of the first sort of league block of games now, where we have a 4-week break before taking on Newcastle at Christmas, and I think a lot of people were really disappointed, obviously, with that first game, down in Pirates. Coaches and players, and I think that the group have really shown some resilience to come back, and I think that's a sign of a good team. In adversity, how you respond, and I think as a group we've responded really well. We're not where we want to be, but we're still winning games, or we've managed to grind them out, which I think shows a lot about the group and testament to them and the leadership within the group coming through. And they're disappointed. They know they're not firing. They want to get better, and they're trying to drive standards as high as they possibly can in training. And I think hopefully now over the course of these next 3 cup games we can gain some momentum. I think we're probably going to be second in the league maybe after this block, and it's not bad considering we had not the ideal start.
Yeah, I was going to say simmering quite nicely now up to second. Certainly getting better, and it still feels like there's more to come from this team as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, massively. I think I think our confidence was dented.
Yeah.
You know, within the group after that first game, we had a real good pre-season. You know, the boys really put a lot of effort into the pre-season, and they were in a good spot. And then I think that first result obviously wavered their confidence a little bit. And I think gradually, week by week, they've been getting that back. You know, we've got to be able to learn to play in these conditions a little bit as well. We've probably this year played in 3 games where the weather's probably been a bit greasy or windy or quite rainy, and last year I can't remember how many. I think we only played 1 game in those sort of conditions. So, you know, you have to be able to adapt your game plan a little bit when the conditions are like that, and maybe doesn't allow you to get that confidence in your free-flowing attack at times. But you know, you can, as we showed today, you know, controlling the kicking game as well. You can reap your rewards from that as well. So I think gradually that confidence is going to come back within the group, and hopefully now we've got a week off, they can recharge, re-energise, and come back in ready to get stuck into the cup.
Yeah, you mentioned it there. A chance for everyone to head away for a week or so, and then back into the cup. And we'll obviously be looking at potential top seeding in the next 3 weeks as well. So a chance for perhaps to use the squad as well. Yeah,
massively. I think we've used quite a few of the squad in the first 3 games. I think we learnt our lessons from last year in terms of we came a little bit unstuck come the knockouts, because if you haven't played in the group stages, you can't then play in the knockouts. And I think we had a hooker covering second row, back row, and hooker. So we've learnt a little bit there, and you know, there's a few players that will be coming back from injury. Paul Grant to come into play. Hopefully Shingler will be coming back into the mix as well, with a couple of long-term injured boys that are coming towards the back end. So yeah, it's going to be exciting. There's going to be a lot of boys that will get a chance over the cup, and they'll want to take it, because you know, our next league game is Newcastle at Christmas, which is obviously a big one.
Yeah.